It's the best iPhone that we have ever created.
It really comes down to one word. Courage.
My ass is courage.
Skip it up and that up. The iPhone 7. It's a phone. It's made by Apple because, you know, Apple doesn't make anything else anymore. They don't make MacBooks or Mac Pros. I mean, it's not like it's been 1,000 days since they updated the Mac Pro. You know, oh wait, it has been. It's been 1,000 fucking days, Apple. What are you doing? It's like you make that goddamn trash can of a Mac Pro and you run away from your professional computers. Like, are you serious? Oh, hey guys, here's this new super small little trash can Mac Pro. You can just hook everything up Thunderbolt. It's really nice and compact, even though you're gonna have a bunch of wires all over. It's great. It's new. It has an Apple logo on it. It just looks really nice. It's kind of shiny. It's like a big cylinder. All right, calm your big, massive tits. Let me give you a little backstory on me and Apple and iPhones. I used to hate iPhones. I used to despise them. Then I got the Note 5 from Samsung, and this is coming from someone who was a Samsung fanboy basically for a while, and I despised the Note 5. I despised it to the point that I actually went over and tried an iPhone 6 Plus, and I gotta say, I was pretty happy with it. I was so happy with it that I actually upgraded to the iPhone 6S, not the Plus, and I've been happy with that too. I've used the phone on a daily basis. I've beaten the crap out of it. It served me very well. On top of that too, though, for the Android fanboys out there that their mouths are foaming right now, typing hate comments in the comment section, I also own a OnePlus 3 and I enjoy that phone as well. I switch back and forth when I feel like, you know, going iOS one day, I take my iPhone. When I feel like going Android another day, I take my OnePlus 3. So fanboys on either side, calm your tits. Yes, I know I made a video a long time ago saying Apple products are garbage, but things changed. The Note 5 was released and I hated that phone, so I tried Apple for a while and I enjoyed it. I really did. So Mr. Harry Mammory is over here, ReviewTechUSA. I hear you're getting an iPhone 7 Plus, and here you are ranting about the iPhone 7. That's just, I don't know, a tad hypocritical exposed. I have the iPhone Forever program where you get a new iPhone every year. I also have a OnePlus 3, and I'm gonna review the phone. It's not hypocritical, and if you think it is, I don't really care. I'm expressing my opinion, so bite my ass. Alright, so anyway, bitches, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, and let's discuss the specs of the iPhone 7 and see what this new exciting phone from Apple can do, huh? Okay, so it gets really exciting to begin with. The Retina HD display on both the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus haven't really fucking changed. The only thing they did is they gave it a wider color gamut, which most people who looked at the phone said you can't really see the goddamn difference. I mean, it's not a big deal. The screen on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus and 6S and 6S Plus look fine, yada yada yada. But you would think by now, for Christ's sake, Apple, you would embrace OLED screens, but I guess not. But again, I'm not losing sleep over it because the screens on the 6 and 6S and the 6 Plus and the 6S Plus looked just dandy, but still disappointing somewhat. The iPhone 7 is going to come in 5 delicious color variations. Pink, gold, silver, black, and the new jet black, which, oh my god, you so don't goddamn want. It's a fingerprint magnet and a scratch magnet. If you really want black, get the matte black instead. That's a phone that I'm getting. Now, this is one I think is actually pretty cool. The iPhone 7 is going to meet IP67 standard for splashes of water and dust and dirt resistance. So, you know, a lot of people I know despise having cases on their phone, even though I totally disagree with that and think you should have a case on your phone. If you don't want one and it gets a little wet in the rain, you're not going to have to worry about it with the iPhone 7 because it is water and dust resistant. So, hey, thumbs up for Apple for that one. And here's another one that I have heard nothing good or nothing bad about. Now they have a pressure sensitive solid state home button. No more clicking. When you put pressure on the home button, you get a little haptic feedback. Everyone I've known who tried the fingerprint sensor now that is solid state that you can't actually physically push down and feel a click say it feels pretty weird. It doesn't seem to offer any real benefit as of yet. But hey, it's something different. It's a change, I guess, that Apple wanted to make so that they could say, hey, we changed something on the iPhone 7. And I'm sure maybe it had something to do with making the phone more water and dust resistant, not having, a physical button there that crap could actually get into. So I'm guessing these are the reasons why they did it, but it just seems kind of pointless. The iPhone 6 and 6S's fingerprint/button was fine, but hey, they changed it, so yay. Now let's talk about what's under the hood with the iPhone 7. Apple has finally embraced a quad-core processor for the iPhone 7. It's the A10 Fusion processor. It's a 64-bit chip. Now, even though it's quad-core, I see a lot of journalists and stuff saying, oh, quad-core processor, quad-core processor. It kind of is a quad-core processor, but it's not a quad-core processor. What I mean by that is there's 2 beastly cores in the A10 chip, and then there's 2 power-conserving cores in the A10 chip. So depending on what app you're using, if it's a demanding app, it's going to use the more powerful cores in there. If it's not a demanding app, like you're just checking your email or surfing a basic website, it's going to use the more anemic cores in the A10 chip. So it's kind of like a dual core on steroids. So it switches back and forth between the 2 sets of cores in there depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing a heavy task, it'll use the 2 more powerful cores. If you're doing lighter tasks, it'll use the more anemic cores inside the A10 chip. So it's not really as quad-core-y as a lot of places want you to believe. Now, an interesting side note that I see a lot of websites failing to mention is that the iPhone 7 Plus is actually going to have an extra gig of RAM as opposed to the iPhone 7. The regular iPhone 7 is going to have 2 gigs of RAM, whereas the iPhone 7 Plus is going to have 3 gigs of RAM. And the reason that is because, as you all well know, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you know some stuff about the iPhone 7, is that the 7 Plus has that dual lens camera, and they're saying they're going to use that extra gig of RAM to take advantage of the extra capabilities of the iPhone 7 Plus's beefier camera setup. So that's really the main reason why the 7 Plus has an extra gig of RAM. This is also the first year I'm hearing, too, that because of the nicer camera on the 7 Plus and the extra gig of RAM, that Apple's really making a noticeable difference between their smaller iPhone and their plus-size iPhone. So, yeah, this year you're getting an extra gig of RAM, you're getting the better camera if you get the Plus. So, if you're into taking a lot of pictures, which is why I got the 7 Plus, it may be the iPhone that you want to pick up over the regular iPhone 7. Now, speaking of the camera, the iPhone 7 Plus's camera is going to have 2 12-megapixel cameras. One's going to be a wide-angle 28mm lens, and the other one's going to be a 56mm telephoto lens. It's going to have 4K recording, It's going to have optical image stabilization, and also both the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are going to have 7-megapixel FaceTime HD front-facing cameras, where it's going to have electronic image stabilization. Also, too, that the articles fail to mention is the big thing with the iPhone 7 Plus. It's also going to have 2 times optical zoom. Optical zoom, not digital zoom. They're not just, blowing up pixels so it looks like crap. You could actually physically zoom into objects. Yes, only 2 times optical zoom, and after that it's electronic image. They zoom in electronically, but still, it's pretty impressive that on a phone, the camera on a smartphone is actually going to have any kind of optical zoom. So that's a pretty big deal. Also, good news about the iPhone 7, not the 7 Plus. I'm talking about the iPhone 7 now. It's also this year going to have optical image stabilization, not just electronic image stabilization. And it also has the same 12-megapixel sensor, the main sensor that the iPhone 7 Plus has. So it's going to be able to take beast photos too. It's just not going to have the extra nice features that the iPhone 7 Plus's camera has. So now that we got all the specs and all that crap out of the way, let's start bitching about the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, shall we? And let's start off with the screen. And what about the screen? Well, Apple has done fuck all with the iPhone screen since the iPhone 6, and that is really disappointing. They haven't increased the resolution, they haven't gone over to an AMOLED display, which hell, even like budget phones have done, like mid-range budget phones, but not Apple. Nope. They're still using old school screen technology, and they're going to make it like it's the best thing ever because it has a wider color gamut. Oh joy! Apple, seriously, man. Look, I get it, the screen is competent, like it's not a deal breaker yet. If you do the same thing for like the 7S, I think it will be, but you have like all of your competitors, even like your entry-level competitors, have moved on to better technology than you. So I don't really get what you're doing there. Now, speaking of other things that Apple still needs to play catch-up with, they don't have any kind of fast-charging technology in the iPhone 7. Even cheap phones. I have the blue Pure XR right in front of me right now, and that has fast-charging technology in it. Apple's phone? Nope, the iPhone 7 has fuck all when it comes to fast charging technology. You get no kind of wireless charging, no fast charging, just plain Jane straight up charging. They have not put any kind of fast charging technology in the iPhone 7. And again, you have cheap phones out there, mid-range budget phones from budget competitors with fast charging technology. And Apple, you don't have it. Why? Can you explain that to me? And last but not least, you ready? I'm sure most of you already know, but you ready? Are your asses ready? Your asses. The iPhone 7 doesn't have a headphone jack. Yeah, it only has a lightning connector where you charge your phone. They're going to give you a dongle that you can plug in your regular headphones, but on the actual iPhone 7 and 7 Plus itself, there is no headphone jack because that's outdated technology. You know, we live in a digital world and we're all cyborgs. We don't need to actually hear in analog anymore. We hear in digital. No, we don't. We don't. I cannot believe fucking Apple did this. And Motorola and Lenovo, too. They actually did that with the newest Droid. They got rid of the headphone jack. Because, yeah, who fucking needs it except everybody? Now, let's listen to Apple's Phil Schiller shilling us the reason that the iPhone 7 doesn't have a headphone jack. And let's watch him white knight Apple's decision. Are you ready? It's enjoyable listening to him because what he says is absolutely ridiculous.
Now, some people have asked why we would remove the analog headphone jack from the iPhone.
Oh, I'm Phil Schiller. My voice cracked because I'm really nervous and I don't want to talk about this.
I mean, it's been with us a really long time.
Yes, Phil, because even though technology advances at a lightning fast pace every year, we as human beings are animals that can only hear in analog. So having headphone jacks that output audio on all of our devices, especially if you don't want to use Bluetooth and you want to use a high quality pair of headphones, is very goddamn useful. Headphone jacks aren't outdated, Phil, especially if you want to use audiophile quality headphones, but you seem to think so, and you're going to try to convince us, the consumer, as to why headphone jacks are no longer necessary.
I'm sure you know that the source of this mini phono jack is over 100 years old, used to help quickly exchange in switchboards.
Okay, so that's where headphone jacks got their roots from, Phil. Who gives a shit? What are you saying? Because the technology stems back from a long time ago that it's outdated now? With that mindset, telephones were invented in 1876. Should we move on from those, Phil? The iPhone is technically a phone, and phones have been around since 1876. Should we, get rid of those and move on to other products? Stop. Look what he's trying to do there. He shows you some old-ass picture of an operator at an old telephone switchboard because he wants to try to drill, he wants to plant that seed in your head, and he's trying to do the good old Apple brainwashing where he's trying to make you think, oh wow, well now it's so long ago, this technology's so dated, maybe Phil Schiller's right. Headphone jacks do need to go. Thank you, Apple, for making me see the way. Oh God, give me a break.
Well, the reason to move on, I'm going to give you 3 of them, but it really comes down to one word: courage.
Yeah, he just said it.
Courage.
Nope, your damn ears aren't deceiving you.
Courage.
Firefighters who go head first into danger to save people's lives have courage. Soldiers who risk their lives and fight around the world have courage. Getting rid of a fucking headphone jack on a smartphone does not take courage, Phil. So let's hear Phil's 3 key reasons as to why getting rid of the headphone jack on the iPhone 7 was a brilliant idea.
First, we've shown that we can use Lightning for our inbox headphones and to adapt all the older devices through analog interfaces.
Oh, goody! Yay! I could use the earpods that come included with the iPhone 7. Too bad I fucking despise those headphones, always have, always will, and I throw them in the trash instantly whenever I purchase an Apple product. And oh boy, you include a lightning cable adapter in the box so I can hook up my old headphones. That's totally convenient. I'm so happy I have to have an extra dongle hanging out of my iPhone 7 to hook up my headphones. It's not like that adapter's gonna get lost or broke or whatever the case may be. It's not like having that hanging out of your iPhone 7 when you want to plug in a regular pair of headphones isn't going to be an extra thing that could break and could possibly break your lightning port on your iPhone because it's another adapter hanging out of it. So if you push it against something like a desk or a table, it won't break. That's no big deal. It's totally convenient. Let's give you an extra fucking accessory you have to carry around instead of just including the fucking headphone jack. And what about people who like to use regular headphones, say when they're in bed and they want to charge their iPhone at the same time? Well, guess what? You're shit out of luck now unless you want to buy an accessory from Belkin that turns your one lightning port on your iPhone 7 into two lightning ports so you could plug your earpods into one lightning port and plug your charger into another. So now, guess what? Just like you had with your iPhone 6S, you can now charge your iPhone 7 again while listening to audio. Because having another accessory you have to lug around, that's not inconvenient at all. And even better, if you want to use regular headphones with that Belkin lightning port adapter where you could charge your phone and listen to audio at the same time, then you're going to have the Belkin adapter, you're going to have the lightning port to mini audio jack adapter, and you're going to be charging your iPhone at the same time. Having all these extra accessories that you have to pay for and lug around, that's actual progress, right, Apple? Piss off. Now let's listen to Phil's second and equally as ridiculous point.
Second, and this is really important, our smartphones are packed with technologies and we all want more. We want bigger, brighter displays. We want larger batteries. We want faster processors. We want stereo speakers. We want taptic engines. We want all of that. And it's all fighting for space within that same enclosure. And maintaining an ancient single-purpose analog big connector doesn't make sense because that space is at a premium.
So Phil, make the goddamn iPhone 7 longer. Make it a little thicker, whatever you need to do. The iPhone 6S is plenty thin. Making the phones any thinner would be a detriment to me, in my opinion anyway. We don't need the phones any thinner. They already feel fragile enough as it is. Making the phone thinner will make it easier to break. Honestly, if phones do not get any thinner from here on out, I'm fine with that. Look at the Note 7, putting the explosive battery aside, is packed to the fucking brim full of features, and it's also water and splash resistant like the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And guess what, Phil? It has a headphone jack. It is a cutting-edge technology flagship phone that is full of goddamn features, and somehow, some magical way, Samsung found a way to put a headphone jack on it. Stop. I'm not buying the bullshit, Phil. I know why this was done, because you want to make sure your Beats acquisition is profitable, and that's why the headphone jack is gone. And it, just like I predicted, guess what? They're trying to sell you wireless earbuds. They're called AirPods, and they're expensive. They're $160 for those goddamn things, which are so small, I promise you, I don't care how much you take care of your stuff, you will eventually lose them. Speaking of AirPods, now Phil is going to get to his third and final point where he tries to convince us that everything in the future should be wireless.
Third, and I think this is most important of all, when you have a vision of how the audio experience can be, you want to get there as fast as you can and make it as great as it can be. And we do have a vision for how audio should work on mobile devices. And that takes us to our next feature, wireless. And it makes no sense to tether ourselves with cables to our mobile devices.
Not true, Phil. No matter how much technology advances, there's always going to be a reason to be tethered to a device. I'm about to prove that point.
That is why today we are so excited to show you a new product from Apple called Apple AirPods.
Hey Phil, you want to know a really cool product I have? I have the Sennheiser Clip Mic digital mobile recording microphone for iOS devices. This clip mic, or lapel mic I should say, plugs into your lightning port, whether it be on your iPod or iPhone, and lets you record professional quality audio. And you know what I like to do when I record that professional quality audio? When I use my iPhone with this mic, I like plugging in a professional quality headset so I can monitor and listen back to the goddamn audio that I just recorded. So on an iPhone 6S or 6 or using the newest iPod, it's relatively simple. All you do is just plug the microphone into the lightning port, then you plug your headphones into the headphone jack, and boom, you're good to go. You can have your nice, good quality headphones. You can record your audio and listen back, make sure there's no distortion, make sure the audio take that you just recorded sounds nice and clear. Now, guess what? With the iPhone 7, I can't, conveniently anyway, do that anymore. Yes, I could plug in the microphone, but I can't have the headphones on at the same time and listen to the audio right back after I record it. So either I have to make the sign of the cross and hope the audio isn't distorted and hope it's clear and just listen to it back on the iPhone 7 speakers, or I have to buy that stupid adapter from Belkin that makes one lightning port into two, and that's how I could plug in my headphones. Isn't that just so convenient, Apple? Isn't that so convenient, Phil? Now I have to have all these extra fucking accessories because you get rid of the headphone jack on the iPhone 7, you know, that outdated jack that only has one purpose. Sure, I could hook up a pair of Bluetooth headphones wirelessly to the iPhone or iPod while I'm recording audio with the Sennheiser mic, but I already have a professional pair of headphones, and it would be much easier to have a headphone jack on the iPhone 7, so when I record audio with this microphone, I don't have to worry about getting extra accessories, getting this Belkin dual lightning port adapter. I don't have to worry about going out and spending more money, an insane amount of money, on a good quality, reference quality pair of Bluetooth headphones. So there you go, Apple. There you go, Phil. There's a 100% valid reason as to why people may want to be tethered to their device still in 2016. But you don't care about that anymore, though. You don't care about the content creators, the guys who went out and bought the Macs and the Mac Pros throughout the years to use for Photoshop, to use for Pro Tools, to use for video editing. You don't give a shit about that anymore. All you care about are two things. One, appealing to the general consumer who is more worried about form rather than function, and you're more worried about making your investment back on your purchase of Beats. And what a better way to make that investment back than by painting people into a corner so they have to buy wireless accessories because there's no longer a headphone jack. Look, I'm getting an iPhone 7 like I stated earlier in this video, and I'm being very transparent about that. I could have easily have hidden that fact, but I like being honest with you guys. But I have this gut feeling, and I could be wrong, that this time next year, when the iPhone 7S rolls around, I have a feeling they're going to be bringing back the headphone jack. Mark my words.